Hey besties, welcome back to the Weekly Chronicle, where we chronicle our journey through the books we read, the shows we watch, and the worlds we've spiraled into. I'm Tabatha.
And I'm Sharilyn. Grab a beverage and let's get booking with the besties.
So last week, you may have noticed we put out a post that said we had technical difficulties.
And we thought, we routinely have technical difficulties here and there. It's always a new thing. But, we'll have
a new thing.
It's never the same problem. No, okay, so we had that and we're like, you know what? Fine, we'll just redo it. It'll be great.
So we filmed this.
We already did this again.
Mm-hmm. And we had more technical difficulties. The memory card, in fact, died. Kaput.
It's gone.
Exploded.
Valhalla. It's literal.
So we're going to do our best to discuss the books.
For a third time.
But it will be a third time. So we will do our best.
I'm crying.
We'll do our best. We'll do our best. Our best is all we got.
Oh, it's okay. It's what it should happen. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Yes.
I can't look at that book anymore.
So I finished Polybius, which we've seen a number of times. Well, you've seen a couple times. We've seen a number of times. And it was a very okay book. The delusions are spiraling.
I'm crying. No, it's just really hard when we've had the same conversation multiple times and it literally just spirals.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all are probably sitting there like, what is wrong with her? So much. How much time do you have? Oh, man. Okay, yeah, so you read that? I'm sorry.
It's like that relative that you have that's like, oh, let me tell you this story, and you've heard that person say that story like 20 times. That's how she's feeling right now about this book and me telling her how I feel about this book. So
y'all really want in on the joke, don't you? You're very confused. I'm sorry. It's not a fun joke to be in on.
But this is somewhere between a thriller and a horror, where we're following some kids in a town where an arcade machine. Okay, I'm gonna try one more time. And you can be doing your own thing over there. That's fine.
Yeah. I just want to point out that my drink matches the book and my nails, as per usual. Carry on.
Okay. Okay, so this is a book somewhere in between, like a thriller and horror, where we're following a town that has an arcade, and in that arcade, a new machine has been delivered that is making people go violent. And,
same. It's happening. Except that's not violent, I'm just falling apart.
Yeah. It's comped to Stephen King and Stranger Things. I think Stranger Things is pretty accurate because I can't even look at you.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Many times. I've also just said it to you, so I'm not like informing you any. I'm just gonna look at you guys. It's comped to Stephen King and Stranger Things. I think the Stranger Things is coming from them being kids. They're definitely like upper teenagers. The Stephen King, I don't necessarily fully agree on, just because this isn't as well done as far as characters go, but this is a decent enough time if you're looking for a kind of just chill thriller horror book. And we will never talk about the book again in our lives.
Until the monthly wrap-up. Okay, I feel a little more human. So, the next book you have on your stack over there, which is, I've read like 2 books in the past 2 weeks. So this is one of them, and it is The Way of Dan by Philip Chase.
Yes.
And we've talked about this multiple times between ourselves now, and I apologize in advance for all of the ways that we're not able to articulate the things we've already said, because we do that thing where we say it and then it leaves our brain. So that's fun. But yes, this was a good time.
It's a very lovely book.
Very lovely. Very well written.
The prose is fantastic. The world building is phenomenal.
Yeah, I love the way Philip Chase does his characters and
the elf.
Tabatha! the elves. And I was like, what elves? Oh yeah, because he did them so differently. They weren't like standard elf in my brain that I forgot they were there. So there's your context for that moment.
Yeah, we both gave this a high 4 stars. We really, really, really enjoyed our time here.
The way he does the characters is really good. I was nervous in the beginning because he introduced so many characters and storylines. I was afraid it was going to be too much and that I, as the reader, wouldn't get enough of a connection to each of them and that it would be too much in not enough time. But he wrote the characters so well and so intentionally, and the way he depicted who they are, what drives them, what motivates them, why they're here.
Are so key. Yeah.
He did a really good job of depicting that in few words, but like very impactfully.
Why use more words when less words do good?
Do good. Suffice. There we go. I cut down your 2 words to 1 word. Real time genius. Anyway, yes. Something
very efficient.
Yes, he something when we were talking about this previously Tabatha, you pointed out the economy of words in his prose and his word usage and choice, and that he
packs a huge punch with less words, which is great.
Yes, that is very refreshing to see from a reader's perspective. He doesn't just fill in a bunch of words for the sake of it. Like, he has it's
very intentional.
Yes.
Yeah. Also love the religious elements in here. I love a conversation around religious extremism. I vibe with that a lot. Especially on like critiquing religious extremism. I also really love the slower moments. We get a lot. It is a slower paced book. I love that. It's also, those slow moments are so nice for getting a break from some action. And then at the beginning, they're really good for setting things up. So we have like the sweetest little romance in the world towards the beginning. And it showed me how much, when I have a romance in a book, I want a sweet, like very sweet romance. And I got that here. Okay. It was really nice.
Yeah. It just cracks me up that you pointed that out, because I'm like, I did not care about the romance at all. I mean, it was sweet, but it was short-lived. And then the story moved on and it didn't have an impact on me.
I just thought it was a sweet little moment, you know? I like those. I like when we can have those really intimate moments. That sounds different when I'm talking about a romance, but you know.
Yeah.
This is still, it's very sweet. And then really, really like Imhar, who is like the Samwise of this book. And he is so great.
Such a great dude.
I love the dynamic between our main character and him as well.
Yes.
Excellent.
So excited to continue the series. We may, we'll see how quickly we get to the next couple books, because I would like to wait for the audiobook for book 2, since it is coming soon.
Yeah.
Maybe August, hopefully. But yeah, so I may wait for the audiobook to get to book 2, and then just read book 3 on my own without we were talking about that earlier, that I'm such a big fan of like audiobooks and immersion reading now, that when an audiobook isn't available, I'm like, I'm gonna have to read it by myself. But so we'll see how.
It's a really good way to immerse yourself into the book.
Yes, to listen and look at the words at the same time. It also just helps me focus and stay focused and not get distracted so easily. But yes, great story.
Excellent book.
Very intrigued to see where he goes, because everything came to a head at the end of the book and where we left off.
Very good setup.
Yes, very good setup.
And he has a new one coming out for in like a couple weeks, so it's exciting.
Very.
All right, the last book I read last week, before we get into this week, is Blood on Her Tongue. This is a gothic horror book with vampires, sisterhood, feminism. It is all my favorite things. I loved this so much. I had such a good time. It was also very atmospheric, which I don't normally vibe with. She normally does. But I loved the prose here. I really liked every element of this. This was a immediate 5-star. Yay. I had such a good time with it.
That makes me happy.
Any others for you from last week?
Yes. So started last week and then followed up into this week. I read the Silver in the Wood duology by Emily Tesh. So last week, this week, still working on it, but it's so lovely. It seems set in the British countryside at an estate, and it's very much nature plays a big role in the story, and so it's very lovely. And it's a bit like a vignette of a story of just like looking in this little hole and like looking through at a little fairy tale something, and just seeing the story play out. And it's just really pretty and lovely, but it does still have some interesting mystery and plot and lore within it. So I'm finishing book 2 now, and this one takes place a couple years after book 1, and it's going deeper into the lore right now in book 2. And for being this small, this is another example of economy of words, where she does a good job conveying a lot in clearly not very many pages. But this one is very atmospheric. It just feels like a breath of fresh air, especially after everything we've been reading lately that's like chunky and deep and
nice palate cleanser.
Yes, it uses a lot of brain power. This one is just like stepping out for a moment into the woods and just taking a breath, and it's been very lovely. Yeah.
And she has a Hugo Award, not for these ones, but for a different book.
Yes,
so
she does.
That's nice.
Very, very lovely. Very well done. All right, so what did you read this week?
This week, I read, let's go in order, to some amount of order to the chaos. I read American Rapture, which I loved. This was also an instant 5-star. I cried in this book. This is taking place in like an apocalypse level event where we've got a teenage girl who is growing up in a very, very extremely religious family, and they definitely have religious extremism to them. And so she's very, very repressed, and her family is also very, very repressed. And there are conversations around that are horrible and gut-wrenching, but also healing in ways, if you've gone through some religious extremism. And so couple this character who grows up in a religiously extreme family with an apocalypse level event where the NARS virus has a mutation. Is that what it's called? Mutation?
Maybe.
Okay.
Where it like it just turns into
Yeah. It has a mutation where it attacks a certain part of the brain and turns people essentially into sex zombies. So it sounds wild and trippy when you say that, but there's also just so many good conversations about how religious extremism can affect people with repression. It also has conversations around like gender roles and homosexuality, things like that, all in this neat little package. And I just adored this. I absolutely ate this up. I loved all of the discussions. I had a good time in parts where it was like good. It was never like fun. They're going through an apocalypse level event, but I had fun with them. And then when the things started hitting the fan, I definitely got very emotional. So,
okay.
Yeah. 5-star.
Nice.
Next, I've had this on my current reads for a long time, and that's Death Masks. Finally finished that one with Scott. We're doing a reread of the Dresden Files, and this is so good. So we're in the thick of great books. So
and you said
it.
This one gets kind of deeper into the worlds, or like you're getting
each one starting at like book 3, you get a little bit more each book. It's still a little bit in the detective mystery of the week kind of a style.
Okay.
But we're getting some definitely new world building aspects. Each one of these builds out the world a bit more, and we learn more about Harry. We learn more. There are seeds planted in this book that will come to fruition later. So, yeah.
Nice. I need to get back to reading that eventually. I have book 3 sitting on my shelf at home waiting for me.
Yeah, I know. Full Moon kind of...
That one killed me.
Yeah.
That one took me out. That was rough.
Yes. Luckily you were warned, so hopefully that eases it a bit.
Yeah, I know it gets better. That one was just so difficult to get through.
Yeah. And there's still, he's going to have his cringe moments in every book.
Yeah.
There's going to be still cringe things that he says. Mm-hmm. But he has a good heart. He has a very good heart. Mm-hmm. So if you just remember that, there are still going to be moments. Those are the moments that you put your rose tinted glasses on and you just overlook those. At least I do.
Fair.
Next, I actually read this on release day. That's With a Vengeance by Riley Sager. This is a murder mystery in the style of like Murder on the Orient Express. They're on a train, bodies start dying, or bodies start falling.
The bodies start.
The bodies hit the floor. The bodies hit the floor.
He doesn't normally write mysteries. He's more in the like thriller genre. So this was an interesting one from him. But yeah, I had a good time with this. I don't normally love mysteries. You do.
I do.
I also really love that on the spine. This has nothing to do with the book, but it has like a train ticket. So it's cool.
Yes, I do love me a good murder mystery. So it'd be interesting to see how this goes.
It was a nice palate cleanser actually. So his books are very hit or miss for me.
That's fair.
But this one was good.
Nice.
Do you have any others that you've read? That you wanna
I
go through?
have gotten started on Malice by John Gwynne. Reading the Farseer trilogy of Realm of the Elderlings really put me in a classic fantasy mood. And so Philip Chase kept me there with Way of Dan. So when I finished this one, I was talking to Tabatha about it. I was like, I need more. What do I read? And so she reminded me that I haven't read this yet and that it's one of her favorites. And so
And it's on your TBR.
And it's on my TBR. I do want to read it. So I'm working on that now. I'm only very beginning, just 6 chapters in. So very, very early. Time will tell how it goes. But I do have positive expectations for this. So I'm very intrigued. Jose has been reading this one and he's much further than I am.
Yeah, he's in probably the hardest part just because it's a little slower there.
Yeah, that would explain why he's still there.
Yeah. I will say this. So this is one of my favorites, and all these books are 5 stars for me. I forgot to mention this in the Way of Dan section, but at least like plot wise and everything, it reminds me a lot of like John Gwynne's style. So I think you're gonna vibe. Yeah.
Nice. I just thought it was funny that you were pointing at his book saying it reminds you of his style, and was like,
Oh yeah.
like, this really reminds me of John Gwynne. You don't say.
Yeah.
Yes, sweet. Yeah, so I think I will. Yeah, that was part of why you
Luckily-
recommended it to me.
Luckily, you can translate from Tabatha to
The internet.
general people.
Yep.
Yeah.
So for those of you back home, what she meant was no, but yeah, I'm excited to be reading this one. I haven't gotten that far in it this week because it was a very long week and I've been sleep deprived for like 2 weeks at this point. And so sitting down to read it, my brain just wanted to take a nap. And that's nothing against John Gwynne. That's just my brain was so tired and has been through so much that to start a new universe. And
It's so cozy though, so
it is very cozy.
That's probably partially why.
Yes. So I just wanted to like curl up with it and just be like, oh, good book. But yeah, I think I'll be able to get further into it this week.
Yay.
And I'm excited for that.
I'm excited for that because once you finish those 4, then we can start the next trilogy, and I haven't read that one, so
That'll be perfect.
the last book I read was A Crime Against Sharilyn.
Yeah, because I found out on my way. I found out when I got here earlier. I found out that she read this without me.
In my defense, hold on. You can counter argument in just a moment. In my defense, I have had it on my Goodreads since May as currently reading.
Yeah, which doesn't mean anything. Okay? Because I had it there too, and I finally took it off because I wasn't actively reading it.
Yeah, but I kept wanting to, and so
I wanted to too. I would have read it if I knew you were reading it.
Well, now you know I've read it, so now you're gonna read it tomorrow.
Alone. By myself. I have to read it by myself. What's amazing is we love to buddy read, except we haven't truly buddy read a book in a while because we just keep not reading the same things at the same time. So it'll be like, oh, I read this. Oh, you should read it, and we'll go back and forth.
We did at the same time.
We did, but we didn't really talk about it a whole lot while we were buddy reading it. That's the thing I miss.
Until now.
Is that, then we talk about it multiple times in a day, and then don't even get to do it justice. No, I would have read it if I knew you were reading it, but also my brain was dead, so I probably wouldn't have. But still, I would have liked to know.
That's fair. I'll be more.
No, you won't. No, you won't.
Yeah, because I don't really update the status either on like Fable. I don't update that daily.
I do.
I've noticed.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it.
I like to keep my streak going.
I know you do.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of work to do that every day.
It's not.
It's like 3 clicks.
Yeah. So much work
a lot
to
of
open the
clicks.
app and hit I read today on the book that you read today. You don't even have to keep the progress updated if you don't want to. You can just say that you read it today and then I would know that you were reading it today.
That's fair.
2 clicks.
I will
She doesn't love me.
I will do better at clicking, okay? I'm sorry. This is on me. I will take full responsibility for this. But now you have to read this immediately, so I'm sorry, but like, it's really good and you have to read it. It's a
We both put it on
like
our TBR this month. You could have told me and we
it's
could
like a
have read it together.
4.75. It's kind of like really, really good.
Yeah, everyone said so.
Everyone
has
said this
so.
one was okay, and then the next one was good, but this one's actually also really
The
good.
Sun Eater series as a whole.
Yeah.
I've not heard a negative thing about it.
No, but you've heard negative things about this one.
Only that it's the worst of the series. I don't think that counts as a negative, though. It just means all the rest are better, but it doesn't mean
If
this
this
one's
is
bad.
the worst of the series, then every other book is going to be 5 stars for me, because this is a 4.75. I am upping my Fable score right now. Well,
Clearly not.
After
After too much
this-
clicking for you. I'm so salty.
updating it. I had it at 4.5. The only thing that's kind of like holding me back is just like the side characters are a bit flat, but I think that's also okay. It's not something that's like dramatically affecting my experience because it's not focused on them. It's focused on Hadrian, and he is such a good character. He's got flaws. He's got wants, he's got needs, he's got all of the things that you're looking for in a good character. Yeah, he's a really good character.
I would love to know that for myself.
I really like him.
Stay tuned next week on the Weekly Chronicle. Sherilyn reads Empire of Silence with a vengeance.
With a vengeance. Hey, that's perfect for this book, though. Actually,
It is.
so
You heard it here first.
So that's perfect. Yeah, I love the world building, love the prose. It's a good book.
I'm glad. I
If you
I
haven't-
don't look it, but I'm glad.
If you somehow haven't read this book yet,
It's okay, neither have I. We can read it together. How about that, huh?
if you somehow haven't read this book yet, you should go pick it up immediately and read it.
Read that. Fine.
All right, so she's gonna read that. While she's reading that, I'm gonna tell you what the books I'm currently reading, which is Lesser Devil. That's the 1.5 after
How fucking dare you?
Empire of Silence. It's told from the point of view of his brother. So one of the things that I loved in Empire of Silence is the discussion on like perspectives and how you can think somebody is thinking something. Like you can think that Sharilyn hates me right now, but in her mind she's just like la 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 la. I don't know.
That's even
Perspectives. Perspectives.
You could think I hate her right now, but really, I'm just disappointed. And I feel left behind by my friend.
Betrayed.
Betrayed by my bestie.
Bestie betrayal. So this
Carry
is
on.
So this is told from Hadrian's brother.
Cool.
And it's really cool because we get to see. I'm only 18 pages in, which is 4 chapters or 3 chapters. I'm on chapter 4. They're short chapters, and it's cool to see.
Not that I would know.
It's cool to immediately see what I noticed in that one, which was perspectives. It's cool to see a different perspective. And then I'm also currently reading Assassin's Apprentice.
A book I have read.
Yes.
A book I read first.
Yes.
That feels pretty good right now. Just gonna put that out there.
I am loving the prose in here. I'm loving the slow burn plot. It is so deliciously slow. And I know that slow burn can sometimes get like a little bit of a bad rap because it's not like it's not fast paced, it's not exciting, but each moment to me has been exciting.
Yeah, it's really well done in the time that it takes for things to happen.
Yeah. Like, sure, if I go through, like, plot-wise what's happened in these pages, you're not going to get, like, a whole lot of plot. But we've gotten so many good, rich character moments. We've gotten a lot of themes of loneliness. This kid is so lonely.
Poor kiddo.
It makes me so sad. I love him. I love him immediately. I love how much he just wants to do what he wants to do, but no one lets him.
He wants to be a kid.
He just wants to be a kid. Yeah. And he's not allowed.
Yeah.
Because he's a bastard.
Poor bastard.
It wasn't even his choice. He didn't ask to be born. But no, I'm really, really, really enjoying this. I am taking my sweet time. I'm reading this at night before I go to bed, so I'm only getting like a few pages in at a time. And I'm really enjoying that as an experience for this book, just because it's so rich. The prose is so delightful that I am really enjoying savoring that one. So that'll be here for the next few weeks because...
For the foreseeable future.
And then last book I have in progress
chonker
is a chonker. It's Words of Radiance. This is another reread. And yeah, this book is a 5-star easy. We're almost done. You can kind of see where we're at here. I'm doing the audiobook with my husband, and we're rereading because he's never read Oathbringer. And I mean, you can see that.
That was a cool picture.
Yeah, there's cool shit in these
Illustrations.
books. There's cool shit in these books.
Yeah, that doesn't give away anything. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, these are so good. He hasn't read Oathbringer, so we're rereading this. We reread the first one for like the 4th time. We've read that first one a lot. But yeah, we're rereading this so that he can read Oathbringer, and then he also hasn't read Rhythm of War, and then neither of us have read the last book, which I know is having not the best reviews, but I will still go in with an open mind. But yeah, that's my last book that is in progress. Hopefully that one will be done next week, because we only have about 5 hours left on the audiobook, so yeah.
Sweet.
All right, so...
Cool.
Now that we've talked about what we've read, what are we going to be reading? I'm going to be continuing those books that I have in progress. And you're going to be continuing.
It's right here, baby.
Yes.
Oh, I totally forgot to mention that I also this week just started reading Cold Silver for Souls. So I'll continue reading that and finishing that. It is a fun time. It is just like a Wild West plus necromancy something. I'm only a quarter of the way through, so I don't really have much more else to tell you about, but it's fun. I picked it up as just something an easy read, a palate cleanser kind of, because we've been reading so much chunky, and again, my brain hurts. So just picked it up because I've been seeing it around a bit, and yeah, it's just fun. I like the Wild West, old Western feeling of reading the book. The first person narrator, she very much, there's a lot of like internal dialogue, monologue, whatever it's called, that of her just like kind of telling the reader about her life and about things, but she has that like old West style of speaking, and so it very much just feels like I'm sitting on the couch with my grandpa watching a Western or something.
Oh, nice.
So it's very like cozy in that sense, and I'm very intrigued to see where the story goes, where the necromancy, learning more about that and where that goes.
Very unique premise.
Yes, it is a very unique premise. So, fun time.
Yeah, sweet. All right, so that's what we're going to be reading and what we've read. Okay, so now what have we watched / any kind of media?
So, part of why I didn't read a whole bunch this week and why my brain hurts, I watched not 1, not 2, but 3 movies this week. And that is a big deal because I don't really watch movies at all. So first, Jose and I watched the Dawn to Dawn.
And they were all in the theaters.
They were all in theaters.
So 3 date nights.
Yes, 3 date nights in a row. Love being me. Yeah, so first we watched the Dawn to Dawn Evil Eye movie, and that was really great and just makes me want season 2 that much more. So thankfully it's coming out starting in July. Haven't read the manga. I sure could, but I really like the anime, and we're just gonna stick to that because I'm reading enough. But yeah, I really love just how weird and strange the show is, and the premise, and the aliens and the spirits, and just all the weird all in the one place, and how vivid all the colors are and the anime is, and the Evil Eye arc that they're in a different town for these events, and the directors, there's a director interview at the end of the movie, and they were talking about their color choices for the town and for the Evil Eye character and just for the anime in general, and getting to hear their choices behind, or their getting to hear the why behind some of their choices was a whole lot of fun, just from an artist perspective and as someone who loves color and color theory. So that was, and I also didn't realize, I just never knew, who gets to choose the colors. When you colorize a manga into an anime, I was like, I didn't know that the directors in this case were the ones deciding how to colorize the manga. And so there were two directors, and one of them had one vision for the character, but then the other director had a different vision, and they went in that direction, choosing to make the Evil Eye character purple. And the first director was like, yeah, that was a really good move, glad we did that, it looks great, and it does. And I just never took into account who makes those decisions. So that was just a fun, like, bonus at the end, getting to see that. Yes. And then, so that was movie number 1 this week. And then we saw the Lilo and Stitch live action, which was just really cute. It's, they did make some changes from the original animated film, but that is what it is. But just seeing Stitch come to life is just such a little cutie. Oh my gosh. They did a really good job of a lot of the, like, chaotic montage scenes from the animated film. Mm-hmm. They did a really good job bringing some of those to life, and so it was really fun just to see Lilo and Stitch running around town being absolute menaces. And just, like, they mean well, and they're so sweet and cute. And then her older sister is over there just like, are you serious? Everything's falling. Like, she's just like, oh my gosh, it's so funny. Just the juxtaposition of, I mean, just a kid and her alien pet. just having fun being kids. And then the older sister who's like, I have to pay the bills, I have to clean up this mess, everything's falling apart, oh my gosh. But no, the movie itself, it was very heartwarming, very sweet. Changes they made to the story were, in my mind, they were positive changes. It did a good job of just making it feel a little fuller, and it did give you a little more emotional investment, and I did cry at the end. So it was a good time. And then
you were really excited about that one, so that's good.
I was, yes. Yeah. And then it gets better, because we saw the live action How to Train Your Dragon, and it was so good. I'm still, say what you want about all the live action remakes, How to Train Your Dragon made me so happy. I specifically love the Toothless character, because Jose and I have a black lab, and his mannerisms and Toothless's mannerisms are they're very similar. And so anytime we see Toothless, see that actually. It's so, yes. So, like, Toothless is on the screen just, being a dog of a dragon, and we're like, oh, it's our puppy. Like, it's so cute. But yeah, I think they did a really good job with that one, of taking the original and pretty much, like, frame for frame, it felt like just created the live action. I haven't seen the animated film recently enough to know what changed and what didn't, but Jose has that movie, like, memorized and said, like, it was perfect. So it was just, it was so much fun. It was so sweet. And again, I cried. But yeah, seeing these fun classic, like, the characters that we grew up with as kids, and, like, specifically Stitch and Toothless, like, the creatures, the companions, seeing them come to life has been the most fun. So that's probably all the movies I'll watch this year. That's been plenty.
I'm looking up because I did definitely not grow up with How to Train Your Dragon as a kid.
Oh yeah, so I was like I guess that was like middle school for me.
Yeah, I was
13 when it came out. Yeah. Never mind. Lilo and Stitch was like when I was a kid, and then How to Train Your Dragon was when I was a teenager.
I got Lilo and Stitch for Christmas when I was in 2nd grade. We had a tradition of, like, you could open one present on Christmas Eve.
Oh,
and I got to open Lilo and Stitch and watch it. So,
yeah. Oh, that's nice.
So that one, yes, I agree.
Yeah, you're like, I know that one. Yes.
Cool. So that's everything that you've. Oh, me now. Yes. I haven't watched anything. But Scott and I continued with Expedition 33. Nice. Still loving it. He is taking a break to play some Skyrim and Dead by Daylight, so...
How dare he?
I know, so I'm just gonna have to play it myself. And that's just how it's gonna have to be. But I also got Power Washer Simulator.
It cracks me up.
Yeah.
It's the fact that it exists cracks me up. I mean, it's great. But also...
Just listen, you have to trust in this one, because it is the perfect audiobook game. It is the most mindless, tedious game in the best way. It is made
Tedious in the best way.
It is made for those people who are like playing a game and they're watching YouTube, or you're watching Netflix, or you're listening to an audiobook. It is the perfect kind of game like that. And that's actually a really hard thing to find, because like I can't do like a farming game while I'm doing that because I'm too concerned about watering my freaking crops and things. But power washing, I can power wash a vehicle. I can freaking power wash a dreadnought from Warhammer, because they have a Warhammer expansion.
What is a dreadnought?
It is
Is that a vehicle?
I will show you.
I feel like it's...
We have one. I will show you.
Oh yes, your pet dreadnought.
Yes. And then it has like a bunch of expansions. It has like a SpongeBob expansion. It has like a ton of different things where you can just power wash things, and it's addictive. Okay.
I just love that this game exists.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's fantastic. Perfect audiobook game.
All right.
I'm
happy for you.
That's everything that we've been up to this last week. Let us know what you guys, or last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Last 2 weeks. Let us know what you guys have read or watched or spiraled into. If you're not feeling chatty, leave us
a little water droplet emoji for the power washer.
Yeah.
Oh, what a choice.
I'm just gonna cheers with a book.
Good idea. All right. All right, friends. Well, that is all. Tale continues next week, but until then, read bravely, binge boldly, and don't forget your brew. Or your book. Cheers, bestie.